On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
.607 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a Tuesday morning, and I had a meeting with the band yesterday, Bonnie.
The band is sounding good.
Yeah, I imposed something on them that they needed to learn some new songs. So they came in this morning, and they've been practicing all night. And as you can hear, this is one of their newest songs that they learned.
You know, I like it. And do you know why, Evan? Because it's large, it's epic, like large elephants.
Right.
And it reminds me of when I saw Aladdin last summer, and Aladdin is coming back into town with this huge parade where he's going to be the king. And then you have the genie too coming in.
Right.
And there was like a huge band with it, all of the animals and trumpets. It sounded very similar to that, which was very, very huge in the movie.
All right, very good. Want to welcome in Phil from Phil's Notebook. He's going to be joining us today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So we get the trifecta of Phil from Phil's Notebook YouTube. And also, he's going to be delivering us his world-famous top 10. Phil, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Oh, 5 by 5, as they say.
5 by 5.
Yeah,
That's
5 by 5.
Yes.
That's a very typical answer. Hey, so what'd you think of the band? They learned some new tunes, huh?
I love it. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They it's like what do you call it? It's almost like the old Doc Severinsen Tonight Show band.
Yeah, except it's not Doc Severinsen. It's the Get Up and Go show band. And Phil, I understand you had a phone consultation yesterday with our band as well.
Yes.
And you finally got the name of the band and the members, correct?
Yes. His name is Fredo and the Shy Guys.
Fredo and the Shy Guys.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fredo, is that like Spanish or something? Are they Spaniards?
I think he's Italian, to tell you the truth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Alfredo sauce. That's Italian. Fredo and the, what are they called again? Fredo and the
Shy Guys.
Shy Guys. Okay, Fredo and the Shy Guys.
The music
you
is
never
good.
see them.
They don't sound very shy to me because the music's so good and powerful.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the reason you don't see them, that's why they're called the Shy Guys, because they're always in that other room. We never see the band. In fact, I'm going to see. I'm going to ask them if they could fire up another song for us. Here we go. Man, I love that bass lick in that song.
Yeah, right.
Sounds so good.
That one reminds me of Lawrence Welk. When my grandma used to watch Lawrence Welk.
I don't remember Lawrence.
Remember
Welk.
Look at the little tiny bubbles.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he had a show like with his whole orchestra on there, and I think it was like on Sunday evenings, and the older people liked it.
Wow.
And then PBS reran like the entire series. It was on for like 20 years, that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like the new band material, man. I'm really digging it. It's good. I'm glad I had that. I'm glad I had the meeting.
Machine too.
Yeah. Glad I had the meeting with them yesterday.
Now you need a bubble machine like Lawrence Welk did.
I can make that happen. I have one in my house in my my DJ arsenal.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have a bubble machine.
Yeah.
I got a fog machine.
Oh, wow.
I got lasers. I got disco lights. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll do the whole studio up in fancy lighting one day, and we'll turn these bright white lights off, and it'll kind of be like a nightclub setting for the talk show.
Do you have some dancers too, Evan?
No, we're not bringing dancers in here. Social distancing.
We
Can't do that.
Well, when this all goes away, we're going to need some dancers. Seriously.
I do have dancers. They're younger. They're much younger than you and I and Phil, and they're called motivational dancers. So they do what's called popping and locking. Are you
Wow.
familiar with popping and locking?
Popping and
Bonnie?
locking.
I'm more familiar with moshing and that crowd thing and moshing.
No, they don't do moshing.
Mashing.
My dancers do not mosh. They do popping and locking, otherwise known as
Popping.
break
Yeah.
dancing.
You sounded so like an out of touch father by saying popping and locking.
Well, that's what it's called. They pop and lock.
That's the way you said it.
Okay. Well, I'm not
Hey,
out
by-
of touch. Trust me.
Hey, by the way, the Lawrence Welk Show started May 11th, 1951. It ended on April 17th, 1982.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
That's how long it was on.
Interesting.
Is he out of like Duluth, Minnesota?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, actually, he's out of being 6 feet under. That's where he is.
Hey-o.
That's where he is right now.
Oh!
Yeah. But I don't know where Lawrence Welk is from.
She used to watch a show called Shemaleski Fun Time too.
Huh?
Have you heard of the Shemaleskis?
No.
They're like a huge musical family that's out of Duluth. Now these ones are out of Duluth, Minnesota,
Okay.
and the whole family they do polka music. And-
Polka?
Jeez.
Yeah, and like with our 3 channels that we used to get when I was
3.
growing up,
Hit 3.
once in a while,
3.
yeah, 3 channels.
You only had 3 TV channels?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there was CBS, NBC, and ABC at the time. That's all
Okay.
we
3
got.
networks. Yeah, the 3 networks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
In those days.
We
yeah.
had in New York, when I was in New York, we didn't have color TV. we had black and white, and it was a big old tube. And we got more than 3 channels. We got I remember we got TV through these metal things that were sticking up on the TV. I think were called rabbit ears
Oh yeah, I remember
or something like
those.
that.
Mhm.
Good old rabbit ears. We got the different channels. There was of course the 3 that you mentioned, and then there were some other channels. I guess local independent channels is what they were
Oh.
known as.
Yeah.
Maybe like a PBS. That's one of them.
Was
that we-
PBS around back in the day? I don't know.
Oh God, yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it? Okay.
President Johnson started.
Oh yeah, hello. I
PBS,
watched
yeah.
Sesame Street when I was a kid. There we go. That's right. Forgot about that.
Well,
Can't remember
Sesame
my
Street started
childhood.
Sesame Street started in 1969.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So-
about. Yeah, I was in New York in 1969.
Okay.
I was there. Yep, I
There you
remember
go.
Big Bird being born out of the egg.
I remember watching color TV for like the first time. My mom and dad had it on a Sylvania television.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I remember my first purchase of a color TV. I bought what was called a console color TV.
Oh.
I don't know if you're familiar. Do you know what a console is, Bonnie?
Is it just like the block TV that sits on the ground, or
Yes.
like a big
Yeah,
block?
it was encased in a big wood. I don't remember what it was called, but it was called a console TV, and it was a Curtis Mathis.
Oh,
That's all I remember. It was Curtis Mathis.
that's a good brand.
Yeah.
Huh?
I
Well,
remember that.
Go try to
yeah.
find Curtis Mathis now.
I know, or it was a good
Yeah, right.
brand.
Extinct.
Okay,
Can you look that up too?
yeah, please
at
do.
least we have heard of it.
Yes. In fact, that brings me a question.
Oh.
It's time to ask the 8 ball this early in the morning. Are there any Curtis Mathis TVs in existence anymore?
All right.
Would you please ask the 8 ball for me?
Yes. And the Magic 8 Ball response is, my sources say no. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
There you go.
Okay, so are there? Oh, Magic 8 Ball. Are there any Sylvania televisions being made or sold anymore
I have one.
from long ago?
No, I have a flat screen Sylvania.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh, then you just answered my
Well,
question. We don't
But
have to go to the
here's
8
what's
Ball.
funny. The Magic 8 Ball response is, yes, definitely. The
There you
Magic
go.
8 Ball has spoken.
It knows.
Right? It knows.
How does it know such things?
It
It's
knows.
the Magic 8 Ball.
Man,
Very smart.
it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
All right. If you have a question for the Magic 8 Ball, give us a call. All right.
That'd be awesome. We'd take callers. And
Would you
asking
please call
questions
in?
of Magic 8 Ball.
If you're listening this morning, if anybody's listening this morning, we want you to ask the Magic 8 Ball a question. Okay. I know there are people listening this early in the morning. They're driving down the street. Any question you want to ask the Magic 8 Ball, please call in.
It has to be
okay.
a yes and no question.
It has to be
That's
a
it.
yes or a no question.
Yeah.
All right. Not something like, will you win the, well, you can ask it if you were to win the lottery, But
Yeah.
give us a call, 220-9788-772, 220-9788. Pick up the phone. Don't be shy. All right. Give us a call. You don't even have to give us your name. You can disguise your voice if you want. So if you don't want to feel embarrassed or anything like that. But give us a call at 772-220-9788. And we will allow you to ask the Magic 8 Ball a question this morning.
And don't feel embarrassed either, because no question is really dumb. I mean, if you don't know it, that's why you asked in the first place. So
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Say that again, Bonnie. Say that again.
Nope.
Go over that one more time, please.
no question is really dumb. If you
Okay.
don't know it, that's why you asked in the first place.
Okay. All right. What I have to say about that. There you go. Thank you very much. All right.
Hey, I got an answer for Bonnie's question about Lawrence Welk.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
You asked him where he was from. He's from Strungberg, North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He it was a German-speaking community
Okay.
Oh,
in those
okay.
days.
Wow.
So,
All right.
Thanks
there you
for
go.
that, North
All right.
Dakota boy.
All right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, folks, you can catch our rebroadcasts of the Get Up and Go show. Now we are podcasting, so after the show, we upload it to our podcast page. You can go on our Facebook page at WSTU, Facebook /WSTU or WSTU Morning Show, and there'll be a link there for each day that you can click, and you can actually download the podcast to your device, to your music device, whether it's an iPod, an iPad, your phone, anyway, and you can take us on the go. That's why they call it the Get Up and Go show. You can take us on the go with you anywhere that you go, to the grocery store, to your local hardware store, to the gym, even while you're taking a bath. If you want to listen to us at your leisure, it's really simple. You could just download the podcast of Evan and Bonnie and the Get Up and Go show. Also, you can listen to us on Alexa and Google by just mentioning play WSTU, and boom, voila, it's there. It's really that simple, Phil, right?
That's exactly it. Yep.
Hey, Bonnie, what'd you do yesterday, by the way? I want to kind of have a conversation. What happened when you got off the air, what I did, what Phil did.
Okay. Really quickly, I just had continuing education classes to
Okay.
do for my other line of work.
Okay.
And I had to do this thing called employee training for infection control and
Oh,
prevention.
Yeah, have to.
And
Definitely.
kind of about getting back to work and sanitizing. And 3 diseases they brought up in this training: COVID-19, also hepatitis, even HIV a little bit, which they
Okay.
covered.
All right. Very
Wow.
good. Phil,
Yeah.
what'd you do yesterday besides stock shelves all day?
I came home. I made some pork chops, and then we watched that newer movie with Robert Downey Jr., the remake of Doolittle.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, it was okay.
Sounds good.
That's like now the second remake of Dr. Doolittle.
Okay.
The first remake was with Eddie Murphy.
All right. When I got home, I had a very in-depth conversation with our band leader and our Get Up and Go show band, and asked them if they could come up with some new material, as our listeners were kind of getting I don't want to say annoyed, but they were I was getting some emails. People are saying, why does the band play the same music over and over and over? And I said, well, they're new, they just got together, they're still learning material, so I got to make sure the listeners are happy. So I imposed I kind of dropped the hammer, so to speak, on the band, and I said, guys, listen, you need to get your act together. I need some new material, or I'm going to find some new band members. And lo and behold, they got in here early in the morning, and they gave us new material. So I'm very happy.
I liked that material from this morning. It was brand spanking new and very much like Aladdin
Yeah.
when he was coming through in the parade. Like I
Very,
said.
very good. Very, very good. Got to keep it fresh on the Get Up and Go show. 6:20 is the time right now. Let's head over to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. And let's take a look at the coronavirus cases by county, the numbers. There are 183 confirmed cases in Martin County now, with 5 deaths. In St. Lucie County, 236 confirmed cases with 20 deaths. And in Indian River County, 90 confirmed, and there are 5 deaths. Florida's coronavirus death toll is up to 1,088 after 14 more deaths reported yesterday. Cases statewide top 32,000. At this latest update on COVID-19 in Tampa, Governor Ron DeSantis said the state's hospitals stayed well under capacity as worst-case scenarios predicted last month have failed to play out.
Well, in the state of Florida right now, we have 6,408 ventilators that are just simply sitting idle.
DeSantis again said reopening Florida will be a slow process and that it won't be fast enough for some. The governor is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office today. The Florida city hardest hit by the coronavirus is not ready to reopen. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez announced yesterday the city's public spaces will remain closed even as county parks open tomorrow. Floridians struggling to get unemployment benefits are facing another setback. The Department of Economic Opportunity revealed yesterday that 40% of those who filed for benefits, or about 200,000 people, were declared ineligible. In Washington, Florida Senator Marco Rubio say the relaunch of the Paycheck Protection Program is hitting some rough waters.
There's going to be some challenges, guys. This thing is restarting. There are a lot of applications, a lot of built up demand, but they're doing the best they can to pace the applications so we can get as many businesses as possible and to as many lenders as possible.
In a Twitter video, Rubio said the Small Business Association is trying to get more community banks involved in the lending program, and that's slowing down the response. Testimony is underway in the legal fight over the implementation of Amendment 4, the law that restores voting rights to convicted felons.
Having felons pay off their fines has been compared to a modern poll tax by lawyers like Nancy Abudu from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
If you are rich, if you are white, and if you are male, you have a much higher probability of being immune from onerous financial requirements.
Attorney Mohammed Jazeel speaks for the governor.
5,148,926 Floridians who voted to approve Amendment 4's clear and unambiguous language.
The ruling could impact nearly 800,000 Florida felons who still owe money. I'm Rory O'Neill.
In Martin County, the class of 2020 never expected to be wrapping up their high school days without being able to experience many big milestones. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has more. And lastly, for the first time in more than a month, St. Lucie County is reopening its beaches beginning today. Beaches will be reopening beginning at 7 already this morning with some restrictions. County leaders announced during a news conference Monday the beaches have been closed since March 24 because of the coronavirus pandemic. Beaches in St. Lucie County and Fort Pierce will be open for walking, jogging, fishing, surfing, biking, swimming, snorkeling, collecting seashells as well. Beaches in St. Lucie County and Fort Pierce will be open for all of this. However, social distancing is still required and recreational groups of 10 or more people are prohibited. And now this. Floyd Mayweather admits he's been dealing with a lot lately, namely the deaths of his uncle and the mother of his children, but vows to turn his focus on helping people affected by COVID-19. Both Roger Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, and Josie Harris, who has 3 kids with Floyd, died back in March within days of each other. Floyd, who's made close to $1 billion in fight money, says he's turning his attention to COVID-19, promising to help those in need, even if he doesn't make a public spectacle of his donation. I'm here to help this world become a better place, Floyd said. With everything going on, I'm going to continue to do my part. News time is 6:25, and weather and traffic together are next.
6:26 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we're not finding any traffic accidents out on the road, so far, so good. If you're heading out on this Tuesday, should be a good ride for you. There's your latest look at traffic. Nice and cool. It's 60 degrees in Port St. Lucie and Stewart, 67. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is cool and clear, and there's a light breeze along the coast. This afternoon, mostly sunny and nice, with low humidity and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Breezy winds out of the northeast, and only the slightest chance for a light shower along the coast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
.30 the time. The Go show and the band played on. They are right on point this morning, huh, Bonnie?
Crisp and clear, too.
Man, they're sounding great.
Man, you would think that they just came off of a weekend or something.
I think they just came
refreshed.
off a tour or something like that. Maybe they had their Red Bull.
Touring with the Rolling Stones.
Don't you wish? With the Rolling Stones, I don't know if that would work or not.
Who do you fellas think is better, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
That is like the question that will be debated to the end of time.
You know, Paul McCartney recently stated, I think he said in a statement, now don't get me wrong, I guess him and Mick Jagger are really friends, okay?
Yeah.
But he said in a statement that he said, all right, Paul, but who's the band that's still touring?
I can solve that problem. You know how I can solve that problem with the question?
How's that?
I can ask the Magic 8 Ball.
Yeah.
So, Magic 8 Ball, are the Rolling Stones better than the Beatles?
Magic 8 Ball response is, ask again later. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question.
Because we want to know.
Are the Beatles better than the Rolling Stones?
Magic 8 Ball response, you may rely on it. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
Well, there you go. There's your
Now, what does that mean?
answer.
When you say you may rely on it, Magic 8 Ball, is that a matter of opinion now? or
I don't know. The Magic 8-Ball seems to have some attitude.
it does. Sorry.
Needs to be
Wasn't
slapped
responsive to that
around a little
question.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you have a question for the Magic 8-Ball, you can give us a call at 772-220-9788. That's WSTU. Give us a call and you can ask your question of the Magic 8-Ball. Time now, it's 6:32. Probably seen viral videos of cute kids singing. This one might take the cake. It's a little girl named Audrey who basically is a toddler singing and screaming, killing in the name, Rage Against the Machine. Now, the video was originally posted on Facebook. Her dad is a Malaysian guitarist named Jean. He's the one rocking out on the guitar. Halfway through, Audrey gets a little distracted by her fingernail. When she comes in, she really cranks up the energy. So let's listen in here. Well, first off, the guitar needs to be tuned. All right, wait for this girl to start singing here.
Someone in the forces.
Okay.
On the sing one of crosses. Someone in the forces. On the sing one of crosses. Ah!
Oh, there she goes. She's grunging. That was her big moment. Okay, enough of that. All right. Well,
What in the world?
I have no idea. A toddler grunging. Okay.
That's cute, though. But
Wow.
the only thing I don't find cute about this one is the killing part in the song. I mean,
Yeah.
the only song I would have my toddler do with killing it is probably Before She Went to Sleep and Killing Me Softly or something like that.
Yeah. There's a guy who posted a video of his very talented hedgehog. Name is Pepper, doing in a American Ninja Warrior style obstacle course in the living room. He gives a good play-by-play of Pepper's effort, but unfortunately, I cannot play the play-by-play because there are some curse words in the video.
He did a really good job on the play-by-play, didn't he, Evan?
Yeah, he did. I listened to it off air, and I must say, play-by-play of a hedgehog doing an obstacle course, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he had this tubing going like from his coffee table to the couch, and the hedgehog would run over that tube. Then it'd run onto like a lampshade over another couch. That little hedgehog was going everywhere.
Yeah. Comedian Fred Armisen has posted a video of himself doing every North American accent, and at nearly 6 minutes long. It's pretty comprehensive. Let's listen in for a few of them.
I've toured around this country a lot. I've been all over the place, all kinds of venues, all kinds of cities, all kinds of states, and everyone speaks a different way. It's kind of the beauty of it. Maine is, you can almost hear England now. From after they hit the T's. The T's are.
Let me go a little further in.
And Brooklyn's a little more tough. Yeah, Brooklyn. What? Brooklyn.
New Jersey, and then Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Yins go there. Yins go there to Pittsburgh.
There's Pittsburgh. That's
down
Pittsburgh,
Baltimore,
Deb.
Motor oil. I always think motor oil. Baltimore. Motor oil. then down Virginia. Virginia's got you kind of start to hear a little bit of the southern accent, but it's a little bit of pageantry.
Go a little further.
South Carolina and Georgia.
Yeah, so he covers all 50 states in that bit.
Yeah, I want to hear northern Wisconsin. And
I would have to, I don't know where that would be in here. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I feel like they're scolding you a little, Houston.
He's in Houston right now.
As you come up,
Oh, he's going up.
You're Indiana and Chicago, you start to get that Midwest. Chicago.
Let me go a little further.
It's more Chicago than Chicago.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Here it's in Minnesota.
Duluth,
Is Wisconsin next to Minnesota?
Yeah.
All right, so he should be hitting that next.
Oh,
Let's see.
Eh? I know. We heard it before.
Let's
eh?
see here.
Cigarettes. Cigarettes.
And then as you go through Montana, it starts to flatten out Montana. I think like you put a Y
There's
in
Montana.
there, vowels
Yeah.
for some reason. Montana. Huh?
Never been to Montana.
No? Okay.
Idaho and Seattle.
Oh, he's
Seattle
going
is
across the
interesting
top.
because they
Well,
present
it'll
their
take forever
words
to
on-
get there.
That's pretty cool. though.
So they present the words to you, but they take it. Excuse me? No. This is a fact. This
All right. So anyway, the guy's pretty good, obviously.
It's it just is amazing to me how many different accents there are, and particularly up where you're from, Evan, and up in Brooklyn area, New York area,
Right.
and then you go lower to Boston, and the Bostonians even have that different.
That's where they
sort
park
of
the car in the Hobbit yard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
See, here in Florida, we don't have an accent. We just it's just a plain old boring voice. That's about it.
Yeah, that's
you know?
really it.
That's it.
I guess I don't know.
Now, my sister-in-law, she moved to Georgia and Tennessee. She used to live down here in Florida. Now, she did not have any accent at all. So all of a sudden, she comes to visit a couple of years ago, and my Lord, she's just a country bumpkin.
Yeah.
She has this twang accent, like, wow.
Wow.
Blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, when my relatives come over, my accent comes out because I had a very strong Southern accent, and then because I wanted to go on the radio, you can't exactly have an accent, so I had to learn how to get rid of it very quickly. And when they come over, though, or my mother comes over, it comes big time.
Really?
It's really bad.
So what, did somebody whack you on the back of the head and got rid of your accent?
Hey-o. But I've learned to get rid of it. Yeah,
Okay.
big time.
I remember this accent of this old Southern woman that I rented from in Louisiana when I lived in Louisiana at one time, and she had a 40-year-old son living at her house too.
Oh, a 40-year-old son?
Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong with that picture.
And,
Yeah, right.
And we'd be like out in the backyard, and she'd be like, Carlisle, get me and Bonnie some lemonade, Carlisle.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All
Wow.
right.
Almost like that Georgia accent, maybe and when I think of the Georgia one, I think of what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Okay, so now we've done Georgia. Now, okay, can you do a Texas accent, Bonnie?
Oh, heck no.
Okay, come on, you could do a Texas.
One Wayne accent, or
All right, how about a New York accent, Bonnie?
Just because I knew Kenny from Long Island, Little Italy.
Okay,
He would say, "Forget about it."
forget about it.
That's all
it's
I can
against
How
do.
the
you
law to
doing?
give the dog
How
the
you
coffee.
doing? How you doing? How you doing? Wow. Hey, don't forget, folks, if you want to give us a call on the show this morning, we have the Magic 8 Ball in the house. So you can ask the Magic 8 Ball a question, and the Magic 8 Ball will give you a response. It's kind of like when you go to a fortune teller, but it's a Magic 8 Ball. It's the old school 8 ball that you used to shake up and the answer appears in the screen. So we're curious what your questions would be. So give us a call at 220-9788. People are probably still sleeping or just waking up, or they're just too shy to call. So it has to be one of the three. But I know people are listening because yesterday we got a barrage of phone calls when we were talking about Ballantine beer and Rheingold beer on the program.
Oh, yeah.
So that obviously piqued people's interest.
Did you have Rheingold beer too, Phil?
No, Phil's
No.
too young. He doesn't know what that is.
No, I've heard of it, but it was when I had owned my liquor store, I had people ask for it. Believe it or not.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think that exists anymore.
No, it
And
doesn't
then I even
exist.
checked with my distributors then, and they're all like, no.
What was
that
the
has been
oldest
around
beer
forever.
that you carried when you owned the liquor store?
Oh, I carried all sorts of beer. Everything from the cheap stuff like Bush beer or Pabst or something like
Are
that.
you saying that
to-
Bush and Pabst are cheap?
According to my father, it was. 'Cause He used
Okay.
to drink Bush beer all the time.
Okay.
And then into when you get into the Heinekens and the Guinnesses and the craft beers.
Right.
And what I found out about the folks who drink craft beer is that they are very picky about what they want to drink when it comes to their craft beer. If they can't find it, they will not buy anything else. They will go somewhere else and look
Why do
for
they
it.
call it a craft beer?
Because craft beer is usually it's like a small microbrewery. In other words, a mom and pop type thing.
Okay.
And they are now being picked up because there's such a big market for it now. They're being picked up by the big distributors.
You know what I find fascinating? What you just said. We are particular about that because I was shopping Winn-Dixie the other day, and I had a taste for a craft beer, but
Yeah.
the beer I wanted was Samuel Adams Cherry Wheat,
Yes.
and
Knows
because
very well.
they didn't have it, I didn't buy any.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So
That's what happens.
Since we're talking about craft beers, that poses a question
Oh.
for the Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball, will craft beer be around forever?
Magic 8 Ball response? Without a doubt, the Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
There should be a
There's your answer.
country song about that one. Forever
Wow.
and ever, amen.
That there is a country song.
Randy Travis.
Randy
over there.
Travis does it. You've never heard of that song?
No, I have, of course.
Okay.
I would
hope
be
so.
lying to say that I
Wow.
haven't.
I'm like, Bonnie, you used to do music radio. You should know that song.
we should do karaoke and have her sing a song with her craft beer in her hand.
No. I could actually get the instrumental version to Forever and Ever Amen. We could all sing along to
That
it.
would be fun.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
That would be a lot of fun.
Hold
Oh,
on.
no. Oh, no.
Hold on 1 second here.
That's a good idea.
You're gonna hold on 1 second here.
Great
I'm
idea.
looking
Oh,
for it.
Man.
Give me a minute. Hold on. Multitasking.
That's gonna make my ear warm for 2 weeks. Make me sick of that Randy Travis song.
Let me find it here. 1 second. All right, let's see here. For Amen instrumental. Okay. All right, let's see if we can find it here. Okay, here we go. All right, I've got
What does
it.
an artless
Well,
subscription
that's
cover?
the commercial. Hold on 1 second here. Stand by 1 second. Don't go nowhere. All right, here we go.
On the fly here. Uh-oh.
Do you know the words? Because I don't.
I do. You might think I'm talking foolish.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Never wild and unfree.
Oh boy.
You snorted.
We're doing karaoke on the morning show. I cannot believe we're doing this. All right. Oh my gosh. Let's wait till the chorus comes at least. We'll know the chorus. All right, it's coming up here
That's the only part I
momentarily.
know.
You're the one that started this, Bonnie, okay?
As long as old men are sitting
No.
talking
Right,
about
here we go. Ready?
weather.
Right here. I'm gonna love you forever. Forever and ever, amen. That's all I know. All right, that's enough. All right, that's enough.
I just think some people's radios just exploded.
Oh my.
I'd high
What
five
is
you,
that?
Evan, but our COVID-19 thing
Yes, high-
going on.
high five,
That's high
high
five.
Oh man.
I think
Oh,
the
boy.
Magic 8 Ball just put headphones on. Put earplugs in.
Hold on. That brings Magic 8 Ball, we have a question.
Magic 8 Ball response is yes, definitely. Magic 8 Ball spoken.
We can't even speak because we're laughing so hard. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. 6:46. Look at me, Bonnie. I have tears in my eyes.
Those are tears of joy.
Oh man.
Those are good kind of tears.
All right. Time to get serious. Time for news right now. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the serious news. Take it away, Bonnie.
And good morning, Evan. Good morning, Phil. Florida's coronavirus death toll is up to 1,088 after 14 more deaths reported yesterday. Cases statewide top 32,000. At his latest update on COVID-19 in Tampa, Governor Ron DeSantis said the state's hospitals stayed well under capacity as worst-case scenarios predicted last month have failed to play out.
Well, in the state of Florida right now, we have 6,408 ventilators that are just simply sitting idle.
DeSantis again said reopening Florida will be a slow process and that it won't be fast enough for some. The governor is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office today. The Florida city hardest hit by the coronavirus is not ready to reopen. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez announced yesterday the city's public spaces will remain closed even as county parks open tomorrow. Floridians struggling to get unemployment benefits are facing another setback. The Department of Economic Opportunity revealed yesterday that 40% of those who filed for benefits, or about 200,000 people, were declared ineligible. In Washington, Florida Senator Marco Rubio say the relaunch of the Paycheck Protection Program is hitting some rough waters.
There's going to be some challenges, guys. This thing is restarting. There are a lot of applications, a lot of built up demand, but they're doing the best they can to pay as possible.
In a Twitter video, Rubio said the SBA is trying to get more community banks involved in the lending program, and that's slowing down the response. Testimony is underway in the legal fight over the implementation of Amendment 4, the law that restores voting rights to convicted felons.
Having felons pay off their fines has been compared to a modern poll tax by lawyers like Nancy Abudu from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
If you are rich, if you are white, and if you are male, you have a much higher probability of being immune from onerous financial requirements.
Attorney Mohammed Jazeel speaks for the governor.
5,148,926 Floridians who voted to approve Amendment 4's clear and unambiguous language.
The ruling could impact nearly 800,000 Florida felons who still owe money. I'm Rory O'Neill.
And in Martin County, the class of 2020 never expected to be wrapping up their high school days without being able to experience many big milestones. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has more.
Latoya Span is already planning ways to surprise 2 high school seniors.
I have a couple things up my sleeve.
Even though she didn't even know who they were just a week ago, but she wants to make the end of their senior year special, knowing they're missing out on some milestones.
So there's senior prom, senior, nights and different activities that they would normally partake in have now been interrupted.
Span heard about an Adopt a High School Senior program in Palm Beach County, but she wanted something similar in her hometown of Martin County. So she and 2 friends started this Facebook group to show off local seniors.
Within 3 days, the group is already at about 1,900 members.
Now more and more complete strangers,
Because I'm telling you, they get snatched up like lightning.
are committing to claiming 1 or more students to do something special for.
From gift baskets to dorm essentials to college gear.
Span adopted Catherine Ferrero's daughter, a senior at Jensen Beach High School.
Created my own little post for my daughter, and within less than an hour, she was adopted. It was amazing.
She seemed like really knew what she wants, to accomplish.
Span is also committing to being a mentor for her through her first year at UCF.
She thought that would actually go out of their way to do this.
Will give the class of 2020 a positive moment in the mix of missed memories.
The community loves you, and we have you guys on our minds.
And Farrow is even already returning the favor, and she went ahead and also adopted another high school senior. So far, more than 300 students have been adopted. The goal is to find a sponsor for every senior.
And we have a nice mix of country music and sports this morning because former NFL star Terry Bradshaw released a COVID-19 themed country song called Quarantine Crazy. It's a fun track about the pitfalls of quarantining with your family. The lyrics include lines like, "I'm achy breaky like Billy Ray Cyrus, 'cause if I leave, I might get that virus." News time is 6:51. Weather and traffic together are next.
6:52 the time of the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, no accidents to report on our highways this morning. Everything looks like it's just running smoothly right here. Just have a safe ride if you're heading out. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 67 Stewart, 60 degrees in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is cool and clear, and there's a light breeze along the coast. This afternoon, mostly sunny and nice, with low humidity and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Breezy winds out of the northeast, and only the slightest chance for a light shower along the coast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$6:57 right now, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and the band played on. Once again, want to say good morning to those watching us on Facebook. Want to say a big hello to my cousin Jeff. He's watching us in New York. Want to say hi to Brian and Patty. These are all new folks, and everybody else that's just joining us for the first time, you're welcome to call the show, the biggest little radio station right here at WSTU. You can give us a call, 772-220-9788. Coming up in the 8 hour, the sheriff's going to be joining us, Bonnie, again, and be giving us an update on what's happening in Martin County. I got the email from Christine last night, and man, there's a lot to talk about with the sheriff.
I'm sure that there is, Evan, and I'm just hoping that everything is peaceful and quiet on the waterfront in Martin County.
Yeah, I hope Phil's not on the witness protection program.
No, not yet.
All right,
no.
just want to make sure. Okay, just want to make sure
if
that
you
you're
could
not.
be in one of those programs, where would you choose to go?
Ooh, like Nevada or something like
Nevada?
that. Yeah, something warm. I don't want to be anything cold.
I go to Barcelona.
Wow.
It's just somewhere that just picked up off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, Barcelona.
I'd go to Albuquerque.
Albuquerque,
Yeah.
New Mexico?
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Albuquerque.
I watched a lot of Breaking Bad lately, and it looks like a pretty countryside out there.
All right, we're coming up on 7 o'clock. The news is coming up next right here on WSTU Stewart. We're Martin County's Heritage Station. We're going to let the band play a little bit for our listeners out there. The band will take us right into the news. They get up and
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
And the band played on and on and on and on. 7:07, the Get Up and Go Show, as the band played on
and on
and on
and on
and on.
It's nice dinner time, kind of like cocktail music right there, Evan.
Yeah.
I want to go back out and wine and dine.
Do
I
you?
can't wait to do that.
Okay.
It's like the biggest thing, that a person wants to do, I would gather.
I would
The
think
song
so.
makes me want to drink a martini or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, or Shirley Temple for me. I don't drink. You know how that
Neither
works.
do I, but this song makes me want to drink a martini. I don't know what it is.
All right, without a doubt. When's the last time you had an adult beverage, Bonnie?
Ooh, the last time, maybe like a few days ago on the weekend.
Really?
So
What'd you have?
That adult beverage would be it was a natty light seltzer kind of beer.
What?
Kind of like one of those light seltzer kind of drinks, and I think
Oh.
it was like a peach mango or something from Natty Light.
Yeah, I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that just posed a question. It's time to ask the 8 Ball a question. When the restaurants open up, should Bonnie go out and have a very stiff drink or not a stiff drink? Should she have a stiff drink when the restaurants open up?
Magic 8 Ball response is yes. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
Wow.
There you go, Bonnie.
Normally,
Wow.
I don't like to drink too often when I go out for fine dining.
The 8 Ball has spoken, though.
But once in a while, okay, if the 8 Ball did speak, then I guess it would be a pina colada.
Is that a stiff drink?
That's not a stiff drink.
Yeah, that is. It's pretty
Pina
stiff.
colada? Pina colada, a stiff drink? Never heard
You
of
should
that
do
one.
like shots or something like that.
Oh, that kind of drink. Well,
Yeah.
now.
Have you ever done a shot with anybody? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, definitely back in the day, the tequila
Oh,
shots.
man, that'll grow hair on your arms. Anybody's arms. Wow.
Back in my DJing days, I used to drink what they used to call liquid cocaine.
What?
And it was it's a drink called liquid
All right, I lost you there, Phil.
cocaine, and
There
it's
we go.
Goldschlager, Rumpelmintz, and Jägermeister.
Oh, wow.
Darn. That's a fiery mix right
Okay.
there.
Yes, it was. Oh,
I've
it was
seen
so
people
good.
back in the day when I used to do the club scene. They would do shots of 151
Oh.
where they'd put the liquor right in the shot glass. Then they would put a lemon on top of it
Yeah.
and pour 151 over it, and they light it on fire.
Oh,
And then you blow it out and you swig it down.
that's like gasoline in your larynx.
Yeah.
Bacardi discontinued 151.
No, did they?
Yeah, because
you would know
they-
that because you owned a liquor store.
Well, yeah, they because I used to have people come in and get it, and I couldn't get it anymore because they were getting lawsuits for people who were, they were setting it on fire then doing the shot.
I wonder
Well,
if you could.
they
I
would-
wonder if you could buy it online.
It's a possibility.
I wonder if
But
it's on
the reason why
eBay.
they had to stop it was that they were getting lawsuits because people were, when they were lighted on fire, it would spill on them, and guess
Okay.
what? They were on fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine buying 151 on Amazon or eBay? I mean, I wonder if that's even possible.
It's a possibility. Well, Florida state law is you can't have anything over 152 proof.
Okay, and what's
So the-
151?
151, and then there's some moonshine that's 151, 152.
All right.
So that you can buy. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, that's heavy duty gasoline. Time for birthdays, anniversaries, and back in the day, as we do each and every day here on the Get Up and Go Show. Bonnie, anybody you want to say something to that's listening?
Yes, happy birthday wishes to my cousin Darren up in Wisconsin.
Wow, you've got a lot of family. Seems like every day we're wishing a family member a happy birthday.
Yeah.
You like part of the Partridge family or something? The Brady Bunch?
Well, actually, my family's kind of big because you see, my grandma was first married to a gentleman that passed away at the age of 25
Oh,
from cancer.
okay.
And she had 3 kids with him.
Okay.
And then she met my grandpa, Frank.
All right.
And with my grandpa, she also had 3 kids.
Okay.
So just think of all those children branching off and all of the
Offspring.
The offspring, yeah. In
Wow.
fact,
Wow.
when she died at the age of 98, we were talking about it, that look how many lives this one lady is responsible for.
98 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of seeds planted.
She was born in
Wow.
1900, died in 1998.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good life. And
Yeah.
that was your
Yeah.
grandmother?
Grandmother, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad's mom.
Darn.
Man.
98 years old.
Yeah.
I hope
Bless
to
her
live
heart.
that long.
You could live that long. I think.
Well,
I think-
anything is
I
possible.
think you're. We could ask the old mighty 8 Ball, or should we even go there, Evan?
Why not?
There we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Thanks, Bonnie.
I don't know.
Scared to ask this question. Do you think I'll live to be at least 98 years old, Magic 8 Ball?
Magic 8 Ball responses.
Boy, this better be good. Please be
Mo-
good.
Most likely, the Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
Thank God.
Great news.
Wow.
Doesn't that just
Wow.
put spirit and energy
Yeah.
and life into you, Evan?
That did. I'm going to live to be at least 98. Wow.
Magic 8 Ball is very positive today.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to see those cars really do the
Can we ask?
self-driving.
Can we ask how long you'll live to,
I
Bonnie?
don't know if I want to know.
Can we do that?
There are some things you just shouldn't know, like you know.
I mean, I did it. I was daring enough to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable, we won't do it.
I really okay, let's try.
All right.
What the
There we
heck?
go. No pressure. Okay. No pressure. All right.
Let's see. I'm going to ask the mighty 8 Ball will at least live to be as old as my mom did when she passed at 86.
That's a great age.
That's a, yeah, there we
That's
go.
a good age. That's
Yeah.
what my dad lived to be 86.
Yeah.
If you get to 86, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Phil?
Magic 8 Ball response is yes, definitely. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
Well, there you go. Okay. Make you feel better?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Put a little-
It's in the genes.
Yeah.
It's in the genes.
Yeah.
So now you can go home and tell Gary, honey, guess what? I'm
The
going to live
Magic
to be
8 Ball.
86. The Magic 8 Ball is spoken. And he's going to look at you and take out that bottle of 151 and say, you need a shot.
And start singing Randy Travis songs.
Yes, forever and ever. Amen.
That'll make me want to have a shot.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
we shouldn't be knocking on Randy
Eh,
Travis.
no, I think you just
I'm
you
sure
knocked
he's-
your better half
sure he's a-
indirectly.
Oh no, no! I wasn't trying to knock him.
Oh, okay.
But
Just want to make sure.
He might want to have a shot, knowing I'm going to live that long.
All right, Jessica Alba's 39 years old today. That's Max on the Dark Angel, Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four, Nancy in Sin City, and the founder of the Honest Company, a billion-dollar business that makes ethical, non-toxic household products. Jenna Ushkowitz is 34. That's Tina Cohen Chang on Glee. Are you a fan of the show Glee, Phil?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Bonnie?
no.
I used to be somewhat. I got into it a little bit.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Harry Shum Jr., 38 years old. That's Mike Chang on Glee. Now he's Magnus Bane on Shadowhunters. Penelope Cruz is 46 years old today. Jorge Garcia is 47. That's Hurley on Lost, and conspiracy theorist Jerry Ortega on Hawaii Five-0. Elizabeth Rom is 47. That's the assistant district attorney. Serena Sutherland on Law and Order until she left the show in 2005. I guess my wife would know who that is, Law and Order.
Uh-huh.
Bridget Moynihan, 49 years old. That's Tom Selleck's daughter, Erin, on Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
Rachel will know that one also.
And I think she is the mother of Tom Brady's baby too. I think she mothered the
Really?
first child by Tom Brady.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
so are you saying Brady has a kid that he fathered out of wedlock?
Maybe, but I could be wrong with
Oh.
that. They might have been married at one time.
Okay.
I just know she is the mother of his child.
All right. John Daly's 54. He lost $55 million gambling. Too Short, West Coast hip hop rapper, is 54. Mary McDonnell is 68. That's Commander Radar on TNT's Major Crimes. Jay Leno, talk show host, 70 years old today.
70.
Hey, I'm Jay Leno. Hey,
Yeah,
hey, hey.
yeah, we call him Mr. Chin.
Yeah, he's got
got that
people like
chin.
to draw that cartoon caricature of him. But have you guys seen his show that's on like at 10 o'clock at night, with the cars?
Yeah,
and-
that's a great show.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's a really good
Yeah,
show.
I like how he brings a celebrity on with him.
Yep, I like that show. Anne Margaret, 79 years old today, old school beauty who fell for Elvis in Viva Las Vegas, gave birth to Roger Daltrey in Tommy, and Melted Hearts in The Grumpy Old Men.
Oh.
Anne Margaret. Wow.
Anne Margaret.
Oh yeah, she's the fiery redhead that comes driving in on the snowmobile
Yeah.
in Grumpy Old Men,
Exactly.
grumpier old men. I
If
think.
you want to see something with Anne Margaret, look up when she was on the Tonight Show singing.
Uh-huh.
That's all I got to say about it. You
Okay.
will just go, wow.
Okay. Also, you know what today is? Today is National Superhero Day. It's
Oh.
National Superhero Day, and I want to play something in honor of National Superhero Day.
April 28th is National Superhero Day. Only this year, they don't wear capes. We couldn't think of a more fitting day to celebrate Superheroes Day than saluting those who work furiously and bravely during the COVID-19 departments. The grocery store checkout people, the stockers, the truck drivers, delivery people, and all of the everyday superheroes. You've been fearless and selfless in service against the coronavirus. You are our superheroes. Thank you for all you do. So happy Superhero Day.
There you go. That's for the that's our superheroes.
That they are.
I just got goosebumps playing
know.
that. I want you to know that. If you see my arm, look at that.
Right.
That's crazy.
they really are our heroes.
Yeah, you know, it's
definitely.
it's crazy, and hats off to those people on the front lines doing what they do.
Yeah,
Takes
very brave.
a lot of guts.
Very brave to go and do what they do every day. And I know some of those nurses working some 10, 12-hour days at it.
Yeah. 17 years ago today, in 2003, Apple launched iTunes. That's an
Yeah.
interesting stat.
Oh, yeah.
They launched iTunes.
That
13
is-
years ago today, in 2007, Boy George chained a Norwegian male prostitute to his bedroom wall. For some reason, the cops didn't like that, and Boy George was convicted of false imprisonment.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow, that's a
boy.
very strange story.
Boy George.
Yeah, Boy George. Do You Really Want to Hurt Me was one of his songs. That's
Yeah.
all I remember.
Oh, Karma Chameleon.
Yeah, Karma
too.
Camellia. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had him and Culture Club had quite a few hits, actually.
Yeah. They were almost like one of those one-hit wonder type groups, but they had a few hits. But have you seen what Boy George looks like today?
I saw him a couple of years ago. I
yeah.
don't know if it's what he looks like today.
Kind
though.
of balding.
Doesn't look
Does he
good.
look bald or something
No,
going on?
Doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Does not look good.
Huh.
That's all I can say. I'm not a big fan of his music.
Oh.
Never was.
Yeah.
He was out there.
Mm.
He was
I'm a
out
fan
there.
of his hits, but if it comes on, I don't turn it off.
I do. I just don't like it.
And those are the facts, Jack.
Yes. I was almost going to ask the Magic 8 Ball a question, but I won't.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so we have to do serious news, not fake news. 7:20 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Florida's coronavirus death toll is up to 1,088 after 14 more deaths reported yesterday. Cases statewide top 32,000. At his latest update on COVID-19 in Tampa, Governor Ron DeSantis said the state's hospitals stayed well under capacity as worst-case scenarios predicted last month have failed to play out.
Well, in the state of Florida right now, we have 6,408 ventilators that are just simply sitting idle.
DeSantis again said reopening Florida will be a slow process and that it won't be fast enough for some. The governor is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office today. Floridians struggling to get unemployment benefits are facing another setback. The Department of Economic Opportunity revealed yesterday that 40% of those who filed for benefits, or about 200,000 people, were declared ineligible. In Washington, Florida Senator Marco Rubio say the relaunch of the Paycheck Protection Program is hitting some rough waters.
There's going to be some challenges, guys. This thing is restarting. There are a lot of applications, a lot of built up demand, but they're doing the best they can to pace the applications so we can get as many businesses as possible and to as many lenders as possible.
In a Twitter video, Rubio said the SBA is trying to get more community banks involved in the lending program, and that's slowing down the response. A Port St. Lucie police officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries after a 3-vehicle crash Monday morning. Police said the wreck occurred just before 10 a.m. at the intersection of Southeast Lingate Drive and US 1. The officer was traveling westbound from Southeast Tiffany Avenue, crossing the intersection onto Southeast Lingate Drive when the patrol car was struck on the passenger side by a black SUV traveling southbound on US 1. Witnesses said the officer had a green light and the driver of the black SUV blew through the red light. Police said in a written statement during the impact, the officer's vehicle spun around and struck a silver sedan. And for the first time in more than a month, St. Lucie County is reopening its beaches beginning today. So the beaches did reopen this morning at 7 with some restrictions. County leaders announced during a news conference Monday the beaches have been closed since March 24 because of coronavirus. Beaches in St. Lucie County and Fort Pierce will be open for walking, jogging, fishing, surfing, swimming, snorkeling, collecting seashells, kayaking, and paddleboarding. However, social distancing is still required and recreational groups of 10 or more people are prohibited. Other prohibited activities include partying, picnicking, camping, and playing volleyball, football, or frisbee. No coolers, tents, blankets, umbrellas, beach chairs, or sunbathing are allowed. Indian River County previously announced last week that its beaches would reopen Tuesday. According to the latest numbers from Florida Department of Health, there are 236 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in St. Lucie County, including 20 deaths. A county official said the number of confirmed cases has decreased since April 1st. Floyd Mayweather admits he's been dealing with a lot lately, namely the deaths of his uncle and the mother of his children, but vows to turn his focus on helping people affected by COVID-19. Both Roger Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, and Josie Harris, who has 3 kids with Floyd, died back in March within days of each other. Floyd, who's made close to $1 billion in fight money, says he's turning his attention to COVID-19, promising to help those in need, even if he doesn't make a public spectacle of his donation. News time is 7:24, and weather and traffic together are next.
7:25, the time of the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
We do see one accident this morning. It's in St. Lucie County on the Turnpike northbound in Port St. Lucie. This is at mile marker 149, and this is northbound before you hit Midway Road. Not any roadblock from that accident. There's your latest look at traffic. And right now it's 61 in Port St. Lucie. It's 67 in Stewart. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is cool and clear, and there's a light breeze along the coast. This afternoon, mostly sunny and nice, with low humidity and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Breezy winds out of the northeast, and only the slightest chance for a light shower along the coast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you, live on the air. Give them a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$7:28 the time to Get Up and Go show, and the band played on once again. They're offering up a lot of music today, Bonnie. What do you think?
Yeah, since music is so good, we need some dancers for it. We need that beautiful visual, too, of the elegant dancers.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough room in here to put a dance floor down. Can't have that social distancing.
We'll talk to Carol and Greg. They'll build us a bigger and better dance,
I don't know
like a
if
ballroom.
I don't know if they'll do that or not.
I don't know.
Anything's possible. But I can tell you what is possible.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
Oh, yes. As we scour the globe once again, it's time for one of our favorite segments called Stupid News. Do you have any idea where we're going to go?
I hope it's not anywhere near here. I
Well-
mean, send the stupid news far, far away.
Let's go to Pennsylvania, where a man was arrested for allegedly breaking into a Pennsylvania funeral home Saturday night, then stripping naked and leaving a beer in a display casket. The man, disrobed once he got inside, is suspected of sifting through the morgue's chemicals, which were stored in a closet. It's unclear how police were tipped off to the break-in, but when they arrived, they discovered the man who reeked of booze and a cold bottle of beer in a display casket.
Now that sounds like something you'd only see on TV.
Yeah.
Like in a-
Well, police report said that that is now a dead issue. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even deserve a heyo.
No.
That joke.
I'm just reading from the files. Wendy's recently announced it'd be giving away free chicken nuggets on a certain date to help out communities during the coronavirus pandemic. One man in Oregon apparently heard the promotion and decided to make the most of it. Now, you see, there was a limit of 1 pack of free nuggets per customer, but that wasn't going to stop the man at all. In order to get past the nugget limit, he drove to 11 different Wendy's in the greater Portland and Vancouver area in order to make the most of the trip. he reportedly drove the route twice, doubling his score.
They do have great chicken nuggets, though, but yeah.
From Wendy's
Man.
to Wendy's to Wendy's
Yeah.
to
Yes.
Wendy's.
I got a lot of calls yesterday and text messages in regards to something we were talking about yesterday on the show about. We were talking about grilling steaks and top sirloins and ribeyes. A lot of people commented on that segment yesterday, so I just wanted you guys to know that. Phil, you weren't here; you were stocking shelves,
Yes.
so to speak. So, anyway,
We have something, I think, that just popped up right over there, Evan.
yeah, I see what it is. It's a it was a private message for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I thought it was for all of us to see.
No, that was
Okay.
somebody instant messaged me in regards to something that I was looking for services.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. A planning commissioner in California had to resign after a Zoom meeting showed him drinking beer on the call, slurring his words and tossing his cat across the room. The cat was meowing, so he picked it up and introduced it to everybody. At the end of the clip, you can hear it make a squeak when he tossed it. That's not right.
That is not right.
That's not right. And I know Bonnie takes that very personally.
Mr. Meanie.
Yeah.
Mr. Meanie.
Oh, he's a mean. He shouldn't be getting
Yeah.
drunk while he's holding a meeting anyway. That cat.
Yeah.
I hope that cat claws his furniture.
Yeah. And then some. And
Yeah,
just
right?
digs into his arms.
Yeah.
A sign that read, "Help, get me out of here," alarmed Florida deputies. But it turned out a little girl just needed help with her math homework. A maintenance worker in North Naples noticed the sign in the apartment window and notified the Collier County Sheriff's Office. Now, when the deputies arrived, they learned the 10-year-old girl's mother sent her to her room to finish her assignment. The girl decided to take an unorthodox approach, according to the sheriff's office. Deputies learned she wrote the impassioned plea on a piece of paper, then placed it in the window of her bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Now, while we're happy to know that no one was in danger, we totally relate to the frustration that comes with math homework, according to a statement from the sheriff's office. A deputy provided the family with his personal cell phone, saying the child can call anytime with homework and questions to avoid another scary call to the sheriff's office.
Wow.
Wow.
Think if you
Yeah.
were her mother and father and your child did something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Like, be like, maybe you would be afraid the Fed's not coming at your door with because they think of you as being a child abductor or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. All right.
That is crazy.
A well-meaning cleaner who took the opportunity to give a lockdown library a thorough clean, reshelved all of the library's books in size order. In size order.
size order.
In size order.
How
Not
OCD
alphabetical order.
is Yeah, that?
In
right.
size order. Staff at the New Market Library in Suffolk County discovered the sloping books after the building underwent a deep clean. I'm just lost for words.
So how are you going to find that particular?
I'm lost. I'm literally lost for words.
Somebody had to be very bored to take the time to do all that.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's complete boredom.
Yeah, it is.
Organizing the books at the library by size.
yeah, that's
Oh,
very.
I bet you they were mad 'cause they have to redo all that.
Oh
And
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sure.
I don't think the Dewey Decimal System allowed it to go that
No,
way.
I don't even know what the Dewey Decimal System is anymore, to be honest with you.
You don't remember the Dewey Decimal
No, I
System?
don't.
That was
Shows you
that-
how much that meant in school.
Evan, that was that first book of.
It's an index file,
Oh,
basically.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Now I got a question.
No, I have a better question
Yeah.
to ask the 8-Ball.
Okay.
Do people still use the Dewey Decimal System?
Ah. Magic 8-Ball response is, my sources say no. The Magic 8-Ball has spoken.
The magic button?
the Magic 8-Ball has spoken.
All right, there you go. Well, there's the question.
However, people still do go to the library.
Yeah, definitely.
Me including one of them.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I think it's a great place. It's a great place to get your zen on, so to speak, because
It
it's very
is.
quiet there.
That, and I do like Barnes and Noble to do that sort of thing too.
Yeah, you can go there and read also.
I used to go there and study when
Okay.
I had to study for exam, and you could get a cup of coffee.
I don't need to go buy them anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Now,
They're expensive,
I thought I was being cheap by going to get my magazines at the library.
right? No, see, you and I have something in common.
I guess we
Not
do.
to save a buck. I'll admit it.
Did you use the Dewey Decimal System to find
No,
the book?
I did not. A 36-year-old construction worker in Florida named Richard Hamilton didn't want to work last Thursday. But instead of calling in sick, he called in a bomb threat. Sounds like he was already on the site doing construction at the water treatment plant near West Palm Beach, and he wanted to go home. So he called in a bomb threat, and about 20 people had to be evacuated. The cops must have traced the call because they questioned him, and he claimed that he lost his cell phone, but finally he fessed up after they searched his car. He's charged with making a fake bomb threat. The judge released him on $10,000 bond.
Wow.
Mhm.
All because the guy wanted to go home.
Yeah, that happened just like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Right down here.
Yep, just down in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Terrible situation.
Bet he never wants to do that sort of thing again.
No.
Yeah, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, he must have had some kind of a momentary lapse of reason
Yeah.
right there.
And then some.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in Clearwater, Florida, we're staying in the state of Florida here for a little bit. We're touring around. We'll go to Clearwater, Florida, where a 35-year-old female named Christina Zucius brought a little holiday spirit into these dark days of quarantine by allegedly battering a male friend of hers with a candy cane. A candy cane.
What?
Yeah. Yes, a candy cane. You're hearing correctly. Police say that Zetius got into an argument early Saturday morning with the guy inside a Clearwater residence. The couple quarreled over Christina's daughter, who was not alive. The dispute turned violent when Zetius stabbed the victim in the arm with a pen, causing him to depart the home. Zetius then allegedly chased the man in the front yard and tossed a brick at him. Fortunately, it missed, but then she threw a candy cane at the victim's arm, causing bruising and swelling to his elbow. Okay, now I'm going to stop right there. I'm literally going to stop right there. Okay?
At least
You know where I'm going.
I don't know where you're going.
No, you have to know where I'm going.
I was going to say you could probably take a bite out of crime on that one because you can
No.
take a bite out of the candy cane.
No, but think about it. Think about it. She throws a candy cane at him,
Yeah.
and the guy gets bruises on his arm from a stinking candy cane. Now, come on. Really?
Well, have you seen some of those candy canes? Some of them are pretty thick. I'm talking about
Yeah.
you can hurt somebody.
Throw-
I don't know.
Throw a little water in, and that can be a sticky situation.
Oh, hey, oh,
Yeah.
hey, oh.
Okay.
Jeez. Here we go.
I have to ask the 8-Ball a question. Can throwing a candy cane at somebody cause a bruise on someone's arm?
Magic 8-Ball response is, it is certain. The Magic 8-Ball has spoken.
I thought it was going to say just a Nick, like old Saint Nick.
Oh! Wow, you're on a roll today.
Oh,
What's
boy,
in
we got
that
the
coffee cup you're
one-liners
drinking
going on
over there?
I don't know.
Can I smell the cup? Did you put a little hoo-ha fluid in there?
No.
Jeez.
Well, if you did, it was Phil that gave us the idea early.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Weren't you starting with
Man.
rum and Coke or something
Yeah.
over there, Phil?
Oh,
The only
Bonnie's
reason why
awfully
Bonnie
happy
has a
today.
tan. The only reason why Bonnie has a tan, she found a bar with a skylight over it. So
Wow.
there you go.
That's what's really happening down here.
Man,
No.
man. Wow. If you would like to ask the Magic 8 Ball a question, and you're listening to the program right now, and I'm going to direct this at Frank, at who else listens to us?
Charlie. On
Charlie.
Island Charlie.
Island Charlie, Pittsburgh
Island
Deb, Pittsburgh Deb. You know, I'm going to call Pittsburgh Deb. I'm going to call Pittsburgh Deb on the air.
Let's see if Phil was paying attention and if he can guess what region she's from with her accent.
Yeah, hold on.
Phil, were you paying attention this
No,
morning?
I don't. Pittsburgh.
I'm going to.
That might give away the clue. I just had a blonde moment.
Bonnie's going, blonde jokes. I don't get them.
Okay, we're calling Pittsburgh Deb. All right, let's see if she answers. All right. One ringy dingy. Feel like I'm Ruth Buzzy on laughing. Two ringy dingies.
Laughing reference.
Yes. Three ringy dingies. She might be sleeping. Hope not. Because if I wake her up, I'm going to be really upset.
How can one be sleeping through all this?
Good morning.
Oh, there she is. Good morning.
Yay.
Hey. There's Pittsburgh Deb live on the radio on the Get Up and Go show.
How are you both doing? And there's someone else there with you.
That's right. Phil is from Phil's Notebook is one of our guest co-hosts on a regular basis.
They call me Phil.
Yes, they call him Phil.
Oh, hi, Phil.
Hi.
So Deb, we wanted Phil to guess where you were from, but Bonnie gave it away by saying your name.
Oh, okay.
So we can't do that, but we're doing a segment on the radio right now, and I figured you of all people would be the perfect person to participate in it. Do you remember the old 8-ball that you would buy in the stores and you would ask it a question?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have a Magic 8-ball in our possession. So
Okay.
I would like you to ask the Magic 8-ball a question.
Okay.
Has to be a yes or no question.
Has to be a yes or no question.
It has to be a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay. Are there 3 rivers in Pittsburgh?
Magic 8-ball response is outlook not so good. The Magic 8-ball has spoken.
There you go. There's your answer. It says outlook not so good. Jeb?
She's speechless.
You're speechless.
Oh, that wasn't a good question for it?
No, it just said outlook not so good.
That's what it said.
Oh.
So how did the 8-ball do? Are there 3 rivers in
Are there
Pittsburgh?
3 rivers in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, you have the Monongahela, the Allegheny, and it turns into the Ohio. That's why you have the point, and that's why you had the what was it? The fort.
Okay.
Fort Pitt was right at the point where the 2 rivers meet to make the Ohio. So you have 3 rivers right there.
Okay. Well, we've been educated, and the Magic 8-ball needs to go have a shot in the dark somewhere. Obviously.
I have a question for you.
For me?
For I don't know. It might be for Phil. I'm not sure.
All right.
Who's your friend in Yeehaw?
Oh, that's yeah, Phil. If you would, who's up in Yeehaw Junction? That where the home office is for the top 10.
It's just the home office for the top 10. That's it.
They just rent space there, Deb.
Yeah, it's the home office that makes up the top 10 lists.
Oh, okay. Because I lived there. I had a farm there. I lived there for 8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I commuted into Jensen every day
Okay.
to go to work. I loved it there. It's really a nice place if you get back off Route 60.
Yeah. Well, I personally do not live in Yeehaw Junction. So
Okay.
No, he lives out in
just the
Oshkosh.
home office.
He lives
is
in
Hot
Oshkosh,
Junction.
Bagosh.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise known as
geez.
Timbuktu.
Right. Okay.
That's where he lives. And then of
Next
course,
thing you know, you're gonna bring up hush puppies.
no, not hush puppies. But and then of course, when
Watches.
the old man down the road calls in, we have no idea where he's calling from because he goes around the country in this RV that's like 35 years old. And gosh, yeah, this guy, Deb, has followed me from station to station to station, and he calls into the show almost every day.
That's great.
Yeah, I love it though.
Yeah, that's your one and only follower.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
That's like Frank has one friend, me. You know, so
exactly.
you have one follower.
All right.
Is it the Frank and Friend show now?
Yeah, there we go.
So you guys have a great morning.
All right, Deb. Say goodnight, Deb.
Good night, Deb.
All right. That's Pittsburgh Deb that joins us. We'll be getting her show back on the air soon with Frank and Friends, hopefully, God willing. 7:47 right now, the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the not so fake news headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Florida's coronavirus death toll is up to 1,088 after 14 more deaths reported yesterday. Cases statewide top 32,000. At his latest update on COVID-19 in Tampa, Governor Ron DeSantis said the state's hospitals stayed well under capacity as worst-case scenarios predicted last month have failed to play out.
Well, in the state of Florida right now, we have 6,408 ventilators that are just simply sitting idle.
DeSantis again said reopening Florida will be a slow process and that it won't be fast enough for some. The governor is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office today. Floridians struggling to get unemployment benefits are facing another setback. The Department of Economic Opportunity revealed yesterday that 40% of those who filed benefits, or about 200,000 people, were declared ineligible. In Washington, Florida Senator Marco Rubio says the relaunch of the Paycheck Protection Program is hitting some rough waters.
There's going to be some challenges, guys. This thing is restarting. There are a lot of applications, a lot of built up demand, but they're doing the best they can to pace the application so we can get as many businesses as possible and to as many lenders as possible.
In a Twitter video, Rubio said the SBA is trying to get more community banks involved in the lending program, and that's slowing down the response. A Port St. Lucie police officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries after a 3-vehicle crash Monday morning. Police said the wreck occurred just before 10 a.m. at the intersection of Southeast Lingate Drive and South US 1. The officer was traveling westbound from Southeast Tiffany Avenue, crossing the intersection onto Southeast Lingate Drive when the patrol car was struck on the passenger side by a black SUV traveling southbound on US 1. Witnesses said the officer had a green light and the driver of the black SUV blew through the red light. Police said in a written statement, during the impact, the officer's vehicle spun around and struck a silver sedan. And finally, do you need a face mask? A business on the Treasure Coast has you covered. A nail salon in Port St. Lucie is giving away 10,000 of them for free on Saturday from noon to 4. Gossip Nails Lounge said they're providing the masks on a first-come, first-served basis to anyone who needs them. The business is at 10513 Southwest Meeting Street in the Tradition area of Port St. Lucie. The salon said on their Facebook page that the masks are breathable, comfortable fitting, and washable. The masks will be distributed via a drive-through system to adhere to social distancing. Less than 3 months after helping the Chiefs to a Super Bowl victory as their starting right guard, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif is putting his doctorate in medicine to use. He's fighting the coronavirus outbreak at a long-term care facility in Quebec. News time is 7:51. Weather and traffic together are next.
7:52 the time. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, there's an accident right now on the Turnpike in St. Lucie County. It's at mile marker 149 northbound in Port St. Lucie on the Turnpike. It's before you hit Midway Road, but there's no roadblock reported from that accident. Here in Martin County, expect a nice ride. No accidents. There's your latest look at traffic. And right now in Stuart, we have 67 degrees. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is cool and clear, and there's a light breeze along the coast. This afternoon, mostly sunny and nice, with low humidity and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Breezy winds out of the northeast, and only the slightest chance for a light shower along the coast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Mornings are better with the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on WSTU.
Morning.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman.
We have a Wonder Woman. It is way too early for this, guys.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You're out of your mind. I'm not crazy.
Then what's all this about?
It's a superhero secret.
Kidding.
It's National
Superhero Day.
Super.
Shouldn't you be wearing a mask?
Mask. It's showtime.
Yes, it's showtime for National Superhero Day, and we want to honor all those that are first responders and, of course, those that work in the grocery stores and everywhere that serve the public. Right, Phil?
Absolutely.
Bonnie?
Yeah, and there are so many.
So many out there
Yeah.
that just they're putting their lives, their health, including my boy. He works at Publix.
Yeah.
But he's masked up every single day. He comes home, strips down in the garage, and gets right in the shower. What are you laughing about?
Because I have to do that too when I get
Veronique
home.
makes you get butt naked in the garage and run into the shower.
Yep, that's it.
Got to take precaution. That's, of course, we're out in public.
I think Bonnie just threw up in her mouth thinking about me naked.
I'm just wondering if your garage door is shut when you're doing all that.
Yeah, I hope your garage door is shut.
Yeah.
You don't want to scare
I
the
don't want
neighbors.
people driving by and pointing and laughing.
Yeah, that would be a call to the police. Hey, we're WSTU Stewart. We're Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next, and then Sheriff Willie Snyder going to be with us from Martin County in the 8 o'clock hour to give us a state of the county address. We'll be back right after the news.
the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
8:07 on the Get Up and Go Show, hour number 3. And I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite days of the week because I get to get some private time with, I don't know if I want to say Mac Daddy, Big Daddy, but he is the man, the main man, the guy that heads up the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Willie Snyder joins us on our line right now, and I like to call him the People's Sheriff because of what he says every time he works for the people, Bonnie.
That's right. And many people on the Treasure Coast, I know, look forward to this segment every week. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Good morning, Sheriff. How you doing?
Good morning, Evan. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, Martin County. And I can assure your listening audience that was a very overstated intro. I'm just a street cop from Miami, so I have to have a good job up here.
Well, you know what? The street cop from Miami is doing a really good job. I will say that much. Hats off to you. So you and speaking of, is that where you used to work down in Miami?
Yeah, I was a Miami-Dade cop from 1973 to 1993.
Wow.
Then came here to Martin County.
Wow. I had to take my son back down to Miami he lives in the Wynwood area. And man, when I drove through on 67th Street going east to where he lives in the apartments, I was mortified by what I saw. I could not believe what I saw down there.
Well, it's a changing, struggling. Some of the areas are changing and struggling. And you go down there, you come back here, you can be really happy that you live in Martin County.
Oh, let me tell you, it makes you appreciate what you have up here a whole heck of a lot more than what's going on down there.
Oh, yeah.
Sheriff, there's been an uptick in crime, unfortunately. People are, they're home from work, but the criminals, well, they're back at work, so to speak.
Yeah, we've had a nice lull. We got hit. It's really not a huge trend right now. It was a Friday night, Saturday morning situation where about 5 or 6 young people came up from the Palm Beach area, and we already have intel that tells us that. And they burglarized, 21 reported vehicles.
Wow.
And stole 3. So, but their method of operation is to get out of their car in a swarm and then just run through the neighborhood trying car doors. So they're not breaking windshields. They're just looking for open doors. They did get 1 gun. They did get 3 cars. They've already recovered 2 of the cars. This was along the Caner Highway corridor, Martin Crossings and Harbor Estates off Pomeroy, which makes sense. They come up from the Palm Beach area. They'll get off at 76 right here in Stewart, and then they're close to the interstate, so they can get back on and get out of here.
Wow. Now they're also they're stealing these vehicles as well, right, Sheriff?
Yeah, that's a little different. Sometimes we don't usually see the mix, but either they come down, do car door handles, and burglarize the car, or they come down and steal the cars. There's always different subsets. We have a crew that will come in here for high dollar cars and then take them back to Miami, put them on containers, and they ship them out within a day or 2 for the islands or for other parts. And then we have a cruise that will come down here, steal our cars, and go back and do robberies with those cars, or just drive them into their neighborhoods and kind of pass the cars around. So this crew not only did the car burglaries, but they also took some cars. Kind of looks like it was just an opportunity. The keys were in the car,
right?
Young kids, and they took off with them.
So, suggestion for people that are leaving their cars in their driveway unlocked is to basically simply lock your vehicle. That's common sense.
It is, and I don't fault people. You work all day, you're distracted. You come home, the children are playing. Somebody, your husband is saying, "Hey, something, I'll help you carry the groceries," and you forget. A lot of cars these young people encountered were locked, and we see it on the home videos that people have provided to us, and they just keep moving. So yes, if you'll lock your car, you're 100% safe from this type of car burglary.
Also, a security system is recommended too if you can afford to put cameras up outside. that monitor everything, because that will, of course, help the sheriff's office in their investigation by getting security footage as well, right, Sheriff?
Yeah, there's a couple things you can do. One of them is if you have a garage that will take your car, that's the best place for it. The cameras are wonderful, but that only helps us after they've gotten away with your purse or your gun. An easy deterrent is a light that goes on at night if somebody walks through the beam. And those are not expensive. You can buy those at Home Depot.
Right.
You can substitute those for the existing lights you have. I love those. I use those myself. It's very inexpensive, and it really can save you, because through the night, save you all night as a deterrent. They're off until someone breaks the beam, and that we've seen that will startle the thief, and oftentimes they'll leave. Sometimes they won't, but it's inexpensive protection.
Yeah, I've got a few of those actually up around the perimeter. I've double stick taped them on my gutter, and they work off of the sun. The sun charges the battery all day, and then it's pretty bright at night. It's an LED, and you can pick up 3 of them on Amazon for like $20. So it's a $20 investment that will deter these criminals and startle them as well, right, Sheriff?
Anything you can do, because they're looking for easy pickings. If you can find 5 cars in a row in a darked out driveway with no lights and the car door open, it's easy. The next one maybe has floodlights on, just pass it up. I mean, they're not that invested, and they're easy to dissuade. A barking dog, a light that pops on, a locked door, so many things that are so inexpensive. And it's kind of intuitive. We know it, and yet in our busy pace, sometimes we forget it.
Sheriff, let me ask you a question. With everybody being cooped up inside, kind of on their own version of house arrest, so to speak, has there been an uptick in Baker Acts, domestics, and alcohol-related incidents in Martin County?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a dashboard that we watch, a computer dashboard, where we can check every day and see what our calls for service look like, the COVID calls, as we kind of triage through this situation. And we have seen a noticeable uptick in domestic violence and in the fabric of society calls, as I like to refer to them, and certainly drug overdoses and suicides and suicide threats are noticeably up.
Let's talk a little bit about distraction thefts. That's another issue that's been going on lately, correct?
Yeah, that's just starting to pop its head up again. These are, again, traveling criminals. They will knock at your door, tell you you fill in the blank. The methods to get you to come outside are endless. Your wire in your backyard is sparking. The tree limb is hanging over the tree. Your car, it looks like your car's getting flat. Can I help you fix it? As soon as the homeowner steps out, it's invariably someone who's more elderly and steps out to take a look at whatever the distraction is. The other thief who's waiting outside, but unseen, will slip into the house, go through, and invariably what they're looking for is cash and jewelry. They'll leave a gun right there and take jewelry.
Wow, that's amazing. Talk to me a little bit about the calls that you've been getting at the sheriff's office about people complaining about kids playing in the parks or people walking on the beaches. It's kind of like somebody's tattletaling, so to speak.
Yeah, since the governor's edict, the county commission's going along with it, we've had hundreds. The last time I looked, I think we were at 700 calls for service. And those all stem around people gathering in violation of the not more than 10 rule or the 6-foot rule. And so, unfortunately, there's always going to be, I guess there's 3 major groups of people. Those that just want to obey the law and be left alone, those that want to disobey the law and push the envelope, and those who want to obey the law but want to get everybody in trouble who doesn't want to obey the law. And so we have to deal with all 3 segments.
Let me ask you a question, Sheriff, because the other day I spoke to a friend of mine, and he said that the police were called to his home because his child was outside with one friend playing basketball in front of their home, and somebody called the police on them because they were violating the stay inside or whatever the ordinance is. Now, in my humble opinion, Sheriff, there's nothing wrong with two kids playing basketball out front of their house, is there?
No, there isn't. And we have, in the 700 calls for service that we've gotten, we've not made one arrest, and we've not written one citation. Every call we've gone to, we've been able to ameliorate without taking enforcement action. People are cooperative. They've listened to the deputies, and they've moved along. So we've not had to use any heavy-handed approach. We haven't had to be rude or forceful. People are tired of it. They want to get outside. They want to shoot hoops. But the ordinance is still there, the order by the governor. So we're trying to find a balance to keep people as separate as possible, keep the spread of the disease limited, and yet let people have their rights. This is America. We don't live in a totalitarian state.
Lastly, I wanted to touch on something. Today in St. Lucie County, the beaches opened up from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I know Bonnie is very happy about that because she's a beach girl. She likes to go for a swim in the ocean.
Waiting patiently,
yes, she's been waiting patiently for Martin County. Sheriff, are there any insight to Martin County you can let us know about what's going on?
Well, I can tell you that the County Commission is going to have a regular meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, and I know that will be a discussion. It will be contingent on what the governor says. He's having a press conference. And then I know that if the governor is not ready to make change his order, then the County Commission is planning to meet Friday. So I think, Bonnie, we're coming up on beach openings pretty soon. Probably, if you ask me to look at my crystal ball, I think if it's not this weekend, it will be sometime next week. We should see our beaches open.
Well, we'll be coming here swimsuit ready.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be a question for the Magic 8 Ball in our next segment. We'll talk about that. Sheriff Snyder, in closing, what would you like to say to the residents of Martin County?
I can say this, that we are continuing to go through this as a team, all of us together, that the incidence of COVID exposures seem to be diminishing. The hospitals are not overrun, and by God's good grace, it looks like we're getting through this. If people will just be patient and let's finish this off strong, we'll be back in business and back to work here shortly.
Yeah, we're over that hump, so to speak, and now we're going downhill to flatten that hump in the camel's back, so to speak, right, Sheriff?
Yeah, we're at the top of the hill. Just walk down slowly. Don't get crazy on me, and we're coming back strong.
You notice the way he said that. Don't get crazy on me. I like that. I love that. That's going to be the saying of the week. Don't get crazy on me. All right, Sheriff. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. God bless you and your family.
Same. Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye. Don't get crazy on me, Bonnie. But we'll have to ask the Magic 8 Ball here in just a little bit about the beaches.
That's right.
All right. Let's go to the news desk. 8:20 right now. It's news time. Here's Bonnie.
Florida's coronavirus death toll is up to 1,088 after 14 more deaths reported yesterday. Cases statewide top 32,000. At his latest update on COVID-19 in Tampa, Governor Ron DeSantis said the state's hospitals stayed well under capacity as worst-case scenarios predicted last month have failed to play out.
Well, in the state of Florida right now, we have 6,408 ventilators that are just simply sitting idle.
DeSantis again said reopening Florida will be a slow process and that it won't be fast enough for some. The governor is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office today. Floridians struggling to get unemployment benefits are facing another setback. The Department of Economic Opportunity revealed yesterday that 40% of those who filed for benefits, or about 200,000 people, were declared ineligible. In Washington, Florida Senator Marco Rubio says the relaunch of the Paycheck Protection Program is hitting some rough waters.
There's going to be some challenges, guys. This thing is restarting. There are a lot of applications, a lot of built up demand, but they're doing the best they can to pace the applications so we can get as many businesses as possible and to as many lenders as possible.
In a Twitter video, Rubio said the SBA is trying to get more community banks involved in the lending program, and that's slowing down the response. In Martin County, the class of 2020 never expected to be wrapping up their high school days without being able to experience many big milestones. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has more.
Latoya Span is already planning ways to surprise 2 high school seniors.
I have a couple things up my sleeve.
Even though she didn't even know who they were just a week ago, but she wants to make the end of their senior year special, knowing they're missing out on some milestones.
So there's senior prom, senior nights and different activities that they would normally partake in have now been interrupted.
Span heard about an Adopt a High School Senior program in Palm Beach County, but she wanted something similar in her hometown of Martin County. So she and 2 friends started this Facebook group to show off local seniors.
Within 3 days, the group was already at about 1,900 members.
Now more and more complete strangers,
Because I'm telling you, they get snatched up like lightning.
are committing to claiming 1 or more students to do something special for.
From gift baskets to dorm essentials to college gear.
Span adopted Catherine Ferrero's daughter, a senior at Jensen Beach High School.
Created my own little post for my daughter, and within less than an hour, she was adopted. It was amazing.
She seemed like really just goal oriented. She seemed driven, knew what she wants, to accomplish.
Span is also committing to being a mentor for her through her first year at UCF.
She thought that it was so sweet that somebody that she doesn't know, would actually go out of their way to do this for them.
She hopes this will give the class of 2020 a positive moment in the mix of missed memories.
The community loves you, and we have you guys on our minds.
And Farrow is even already returning the favor, and she went ahead and also adopted another high school senior. So far, more than 300 students have been adopted. The goal is to find a sponsor for every senior in the county.
Well, for the first time in more than a month, St. Lucie County reopened its beaches. That started this morning at 7 with some restrictions. The beaches have been closed since March 24 because of the coronavirus pandemic, and beaches in St. Lucie County and Fort Pierce, they are open now for walking, jogging, fishing, surfing, swimming, snorkeling, collecting seashells, kayaking, and paddle boarding. However, social distancing is still required, and recreational groups of 10 or more people are prohibited. Former NFL star Terry Bradshaw released a COVID-19 themed country song called Quarantine Crazy. It's a fun track about the pitfalls of quarantining with your family. The lyrics include lines like, "I'm achy breaky like Billy Ray Cyrus, 'cause if I leave, I might get that virus." News time is 8:25, and weather and traffic together are next.
$8:26 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red. First, Bonnie.
Well, no accidents to report right now. Everything's looking clear for Martin County and also St. Lucie County. Expect a nice ride if you're just heading out. There's your latest look at traffic. It's a partly sunny sky, 65 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is cool and clear, and there's a light breeze along the coast. This afternoon, mostly sunny and nice, with low humidity and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Breezy winds out of the northeast, and only the slightest chance for a light shower along the coast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:30 the time right now, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time to head out to outer space in another place where Randy Siegel is standing by with your daily dose of space news. Take it away, Randy.
Yes, sir. Back on this date in history, 1991. That was when NASA launched its Discovery mission. Discovery carried 7 astronauts and continued the tradition of getting a lot of space science out of their missions. It was the 12th mission of the Shuttle Discovery, only this one was primarily a defense mission, one for the Defense Department. So we never really have found out what that particular flight was all about. And then was the biggie. Happened on this date in 2001. On this date in 2001, the Russians launched the first paying customer to fly into space. That's right. Denis Tito, a billionaire, decided he wanted to fly to the International Space Station. And he did. It was a flight that lasted a few weeks, and it was a terrific mission for Tito. Tito only had that one flight, and he was the space tourist on it. What was interesting is that coming down in his seat was Claudie Hidner from the European Space Agency, where she made her second and last flight to the International Space Station. So a lot of science was done and good money for Russia. In 2003, NASA launched its GALEX spacecraft. GALEX stands for Galaxy Evolution Explorer, and it's an orbiting space telescope that's observing galaxies in ultraviolet light across 10 billion years of cosmic history. And it was launched on a small satellite, on a small rocket, a Pegasus rocket. Pegasus was carried underneath the wing of a 747 and then deployed, fired up, and placed the satellite into orbit. The original plan called for a 29-month mission, but NASA extended that lifetime for several more years. And then in 2006, NASA launched its dual satellites, CloudSat and Calypso. These are spacecrafts that were giving us more information about our own Earth, better than we've ever had it before up to that time. The astronauts on board the International Space Station continue to do a lot of great science for not only space-related, but also for us back here on Earth. Cassidy began his workday in the U.S. Destiny Laboratory module, configuring the Microgravity Science Glove Box, MSG, for the Space Fibers Physics Investigation. The study is using the MSG to test techniques for manufacturing fiber optic cable superior to those produced on Earth. Gravity degrades the performance of fiber optic cable produced on Earth. Space fibers may enable the manufacturing and commercialization of cables with greater transparency and higher transmission rates than those on Earth. In the afternoon, Commander Cassidy worked on the Colbert. Colbert, as I mentioned the other day, is the resistance trainer. That's a bicycle that they use, a treadmill, if you will. And Cassidy greased it up and got everything tightened up so they can use it for a continued workout on the station. In the Russian segment, cosmonauts Anatoly Ivanushin and Ivan Wagner took the day off after a weekend of cargo activity. They welcomed the Progress 75 spacecraft that docked early Saturday and started unloading it with nearly 3 tons of food, fuel, and supplies. The Chinese are really anxious to get into space. The Chinese are getting ready to go back, and they're getting ready to have their own space station placed into orbit. As a result of that, China has been actively training and testing for this particular mission. They're gearing up also for a prototype space plane, one that was similar to NASA's space plane, the Air Force's space plane, the X-37B. This is a small vehicle resembling a shuttle that would go into orbit, spend time, open its cargo bay, which would have a suite of different instruments, and then land back on Earth to be reused again. Well, China is testing this particular vehicle out. Russia is also working on protecting their astronauts should there be a fire on their launch pad. So astronauts have now are now working with the design of spacecrafts and additional equipment at the launch towers that would protect them if their rocket failed before launch. Yesterday, SpaceX tested out one more time their spaceship next generation launch vehicle. It passed a pressurization test. This one was not destroyed. The spaceship SN4 was on the pad in Boca Chica, Texas, and was fully loaded with liquid nitrogen and a test to configure its ability to hold cryogenic propellants at pressure. This is the first time that they have been successful in having a tank able to hold pressure from the vehicle and also to have it getting ready for a short hop. This will be a test of their Raptor engine, which has not been used yet. It has been tested several times, but still is not in use. The Defense Department has contracted with Northrop Grumman Corporation for a new rocket called the Omega A. This is despite the challenges that they're facing for the COVID-19 pandemic. Northrop says that they are working very diligently to get this new vehicle ready for military use. It'll be one of 4 vehicles that are vying for additional contracts with the Department of Defense. The others are SpaceX, Blue Origin, and United Launch Alliance. Well, Northrop Grumman says that they can be a player and that their new vehicle can certainly lift the heaviest of payloads necessary for the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense is also working on hypersonics. Hypersonics are a vehicle that would be launched in a low orbit and then be able to dip down into the Earth, into the Earth's atmosphere, and then glide, just like a cruise missile would, to a target. Well, hypersonics are the way to go for the future for military delivering payloads because they are very difficult to shoot down. So a lot is being spent to test these vehicles, to say the least. Our military needs to have its might should there be a war, or to balance out what other countries are also doing with hypersonics. We know the Russians and the Chinese are both actively pursuing the same thing. There are more than 2,000 active satellites that are currently in orbit around the Earth. But there are also several thousand others that are up there. And what's very interesting is a NASA probe called Image was lost after being on track in 2005, and believe it or not, an amateur astronomer has found it. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about the safety panel urging long-term contingencies for the ISS and the House Science and Space Committee. Until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from another place with Randy Siegel, who appears on this program Monday through Friday at 8:30 to give you the latest update, what's happening at NASA. And from space to another place, we head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli, where Bonnie is standing by with the latest and greatest food to tickle your fancy.
Yes, Evan. And, you know, every now and then you get a fancy or a craving. You want to call it for a delicious patty melt. And order yours today from Ellie Deli. You get this one on toasted rye bread topped with garlic, mayonnaise, Swiss cheese comes on it, sauteed onions, sliced tomato, and a pan-seared Angus burger. And served with a side of your choice. So try the rich, fluffy potato salad. Maybe get yourself some coleslaw or deli fresh black and green olives. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stewart is open with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's is also making dinners with a full menu available for any number of guests you might have. Now remember, they also have fabulous desserts as well. Call them at 772-781-6605 to order or pick up. They are located at 18 Southeast 6th Street in downtown Stuart, just off Colorado. Call them at 772-781-6605. It's Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,713.50 an ounce. And silver is opening up at $15.27 an ounce. 8:42 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news. Here's Bonnie at the news desk.
And Florida's coronavirus death toll is up to 1,088 after 14 more deaths reported yesterday. Cases statewide top 32,000. At his latest update on COVID-19 in Tampa, Governor Ron DeSantis said the state's hospitals stayed well under capacity as worst-case scenarios predicted last month have failed to play out.
Well, in the state of Florida right now, we have 6,408 ventilators that are just simply sitting idle.
DeSantis again said reopening Florida will be a slow process and that it won't be fast enough for some. The governor is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office today. Floridians struggling to get unemployment benefits are facing another setback. The Department of Economic Opportunity revealed yesterday that 40% of those who filed for benefits, or about 200,000 people, were declared ineligible. In Washington, Florida Senator Marco Rubio said the relaunch of the Paycheck Protection Program is hitting some rough waters.
There's going to be some challenges, guys. This thing is restarting. There are a lot of applications, a lot of built up demand, but they're doing the best they can to pace the application so we can get as many businesses as possible and to as many lenders as possible.
In a Twitter video, Rubio said the SBA is trying to get more community banks involved in the lending program, and that's slowing down the response. A Port St. Lucie police officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries after a 3-vehicle crash Monday morning. Police said the wreck occurred just before 10 a.m. at the intersection of Southeast Lingate Drive and South US 1. The officer was traveling westbound from Southeast Tiffany Avenue, crossing the intersection onto Southeast Lingate Drive when the patrol car was struck on the passenger side by a black SUV traveling southbound on US 1. Witnesses said the officer had a green light and the driver of the black SUV blew through the red light. Police said in a written statement, during the impact, the officer's vehicle spun around and struck a silver sedan. Well, for the first time in more than a month, St. Lucie County has reopened its beaches. That started at 7 this morning. So beaches are open with some restrictions. The beaches have been closed since March 24th because of coronavirus. Beaches in St. Lucie County and Fort Pierce will be open for walking, jogging, fishing, surfing, swimming, snorkeling, collecting seashells, kayaking, and paddleboarding. However, social distancing is still required and recreational groups of 10 or more people are prohibited. And finally, well, do you need a face mask? A business on the Treasure Coast has you covered. A nail salon in Port St. Lucie is giving away 10,000 of them for free this Saturday, noon to 4. Gossip Nails Lounge said they're providing the masks on a first-come, first-served basis to anyone who needs them. The business is at 10513 Southwest Meeting Street in Tradition area of Port St. Lucie. The salon said on their Facebook page that the masks are breathable, comfortable fitting, and washable. Less than 3 months after helping the Chiefs to a Super Bowl victory as their starting right guard, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif is putting his doctorate in medicine to use, fighting the coronavirus outbreak at a long-term care facility in Quebec. News time is 8:46. Weather and traffic together coming up.
8:47 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we don't have any traffic accidents to report right now. If you're heading out, should be a quiet ride for you this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. Palm City 74 and it's 65 in Port St. Lucie. Here's your forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is cool and clear, and there's a light breeze along the coast. This afternoon, mostly sunny and nice, with low humidity and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Breezy winds out of the northeast, and only the slightest chance for a light shower along the coast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The Get Up and Go show would love to hear from you, live on the air. Give them a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$8:50 the time on the Get Up and Go show, and without further ado, it's a segment that we always do when Phil's with us at this time. It's time for Phil's Top 10.
Good morning. And from the home office of Yeehaw Junction, Florida, top 10 things you don't want to hear at a barbecue. Top 10 things you do not want to hear at a barbecue. We're starting to loosen up the lockdown and everything. So I was reading an article that barbecues are starting to happen. People are starting to invite people over. So Here are top 10 things you don't want to hear at a barbecue. Number 10, hey, we're at a charcoal. Light up a tire.
Okay.
Number 9, who wants to lick the grill?
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Hopefully after that cools off.
Yeah, right. Number 8, if the smoke from the grill bothers you, just crack open a window.
Okay.
Number 7, that ain't lemonade. Number 6, delayed reaction on that one.
Yes.
Number 6, top 10. Number 6, 10 minutes until lockdown.
Okay.
All right, this is top 10 things you don't want to hear at a barbecue. Number 5, hey, why is my hot dog wearing nail polish?
Okay.
Number 4, Heimlich. Number 3, hello 911. It's me again. Number 2, look, Phil's here. And number 1, hey, Evan, your subscription to AARP is here.
Yeah.
And there's your top 10 list.
Okay.
That was great, Phil.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Evan's getting an idea. He's
Okay.
thinking maybe to light the fire, we could use the AARP, aren't you, Evan?
Yes. Yeah, we could throw the ARP subscription into the fire. You know how I feel about ARP. Thanks for including me in that wonderful top 10.
Yeah,
Bonnie
well,
has
you
the
have to thank the
biggest
home
grin
office.
on her face right now,
Oh, when-
from ear to ear.
When you said throwing the tire on the barbecue instead of the charcoal, oh
Hey,
man,
hey, we're out of charcoal. Light up a tire.
that was
Yeah.
screaming hillbilly right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, only in Yeehaw Junction, I guess. Right.
Wow.
Hey, don't make fun of it. I might have my people over there.
Yeah, my people will
people.
have a conversation with your people, who will have a conversation with my people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call up Marcel and have some conversations with people.
Hey, tell Marcel I said hello.
You got it.
All
I'll let
right.
him know. He's coming over for dinner tonight.
Is he really?
so,
What's on the menu?
filet mignon.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
You got room for two
He
more?
comes over, has to have steak.
You got
That's
room
it.
for 2 more? We'll come down.
Okay. Well, hey, more the merrier. Hey.
All right. Well, as long as you don't mind, we'll come down. Not a problem.
As long as you don't mind it being cooked by a tire.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I don't have to lick the grill afterwards.
And you better serve Marcel some real lemonade.
Yeah, definitely.
Bonnie's on fire today,
She
man. She's
is.
just going
All
at
right.
it.
It's time for Smarter Than a Fifth Grader. We
Okay.
do this every Tuesday, usually. So I'm going to rapid fire a question off. And we're going to see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. So we're going to see who gets the most points between Phil and Bonnie. We will start with Phil first. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. On what U.S. monument would you find the words, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses"? Is it A, the Lincoln Memorial, B, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, or C, the Statue of Liberty?
Ooh, let's say Lincoln Memorial.
The Lincoln Memorial? Incorrect. Bonnie, you can pick up a point by answering this question correctly.
Okay.
And gain control.
All right.
I feel like I'm playing Double Dare.
I know. Are we on the same question?
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Statue of Liberty.
Correct.
But I feel I was going to give that Civil War answer at first, too.
Okay. All right. So Bonnie has 1. Bonnie
Okay.
now has control of the question. Bonnie, which of the following came first? A, the French Revolution, B, Louis the 14th, or C, Napoleon?
I'm going to say B, Louis the 14th.
Very good.
Thanks.
Bonnie still has control.
Control of the ball.
Control of the ball. All right.
Hang on, I'm taking a knee over here.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Bonnie, here's your next question. What is the highest mountain on Earth? Mount Everest, B, K2, or C, Don?
Wow. I'm going to say B, Katu.
Incorrect. Phil, you can get a point and get control of the question.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes. What is the highest mountain on Earth? Is it A, Mount Everest, B, K2, or C, Dante's Peak?
Ooh, K2.
K2. Phil, you're not paying attention because that's the same answer Bonnie gave.
Here I was going to accuse Phil of Googling
Wow.
it. I thought Phil had enough time to Google it at least.
Okay, the answer is A, Mount Everest.
All right.
Bonnie still has control. How many branches of the federal government do we have? Is it A2, B3, or C6?
I remember my civics, and it was B3.
Correct.
Can you name them?
Executive, judicial, and legislative.
Yay! Good
Okay. There you
job.
go.
I'm giving you an A+.
Good, because the answer's in front of me. All right, Bonnie, you still have control here. You can win it all here. Which of the following has the greatest number of sides? Is it A, a hexagon, B, a decagon, or C, an octagon?
Octagon is 8, like Octomom.
Right.
Deca.
Octomom.
I like how she connected that there.
I know. That's a good one.
I think Deca is 10.
Okay.
Not sure what hecta is.
Okay. Which one do you think it is?
I'm going to go with the Deca, the 10.
Decagon? Correct. And Bonnie wins. Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
I got slaughtered.
I wonder.
You got more than slaughtered. You got thrown under the 18-wheeler.
It's okay, Phil.
Thrown on the grill with the tire.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very, very much.
I was in the mood to go to a barbecue at least.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Well, that's a wrap for the Get Up and Go show. I want to thank Phil from Phil's Notebook joining us today. Want to thank Deb for participating in our Ask the 8 Ball. And, of course, a big shout out and a thank you to Sheriff William Snyder for joining us on the program, giving us an update. And, of course, I enjoyed singing karaoke on the air this morning with you two minions.
That was the best.
Maybe tomorrow we'll figure out another song and we can sing karaoke again.
Great idea.
Bonnie, you pick
There
the
you go.
song. Let me know tomorrow and we'll call it up.
Okay.
And we'll do another round of Get Up and Go show karaoke.
Karaoke.
But we can only do it when Phil's with us because it's always Three's company.
Yeah. It's like what's a 3? A threesome with a music
Right,
vibe.
exactly.
With a music
Next
vibe.
subject.
And the Magic 8 Ball.
And the Magic 8 Ball says, okay. Hey, we're WSTU. We're Stewart in Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. That's a wrap for us. Chow mein
Honduras.
and Arriva Dirty. In the words of Ellen DeGeneres.
Come on now, Phil. Phil, say it with
Phil,
us.
say it with us.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. Bonnie, what is it?
Let's be kind to one another,
Be
Phil.
kind to one another, Phil. Say goodnight, Phil.
Good night, Phil.
All right. Bye-bye, folks. The news is next.
Okay.